I think through all of this, I was angry. I was very angry, and I've never been an angry person, so I wasn't real sure how to channel that anger, and I wasn't real sure what to do. I had talked to a couple of people who had miscarriages and child loss and so on and so forth, and they were like, it's okay. I talked to my friend Crystal, and she said, God can handle it. He can handle it. I think the thing that just really made everything come to life for me was that she made the comment, she said, Dana Clark, she said, don't you forget that God sent his son to this earth to die for our sins. So he knows exactly what you're feeling. And then all of a sudden at that moment, it was like everything changed. We are here on this earth for such a short time. And for me, if I continue to focus that my child is in heaven and I know that's where I'm going and it is going to be okay. And, God knew this day was coming before he even put anyone on this earth. And that gives me such hope and such strength that when I get to heaven, I can look back and say, okay, this particular situation happened because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. It hurts and it sucks and it's hard and you're confused and you just think, oh my gosh, why me? Or, why did this really have to happen? Or couldn't he have just snapped his fingers and said, okay, you're good to go, and give her a lifelong, perfect, beautiful life? But instead, this is what happened. This is what happened. And this is part of my story, and this is part of my testimony. And, when people say, gosh, how do you even still believe in God? I'm like, are you kidding me? This is what faith is about. We have faith blindly because we trust that this is God's plan. And I think for a little while I was confused, like, okay, cancer happened, so let me bang that out and talk about how wonderful and faithful and merciful and incredible God is, because truly that is what I felt during that time. And then to turn around and have lost a child where I'm like, oh wow, my bottom really did just fall out. Cancer was nothing compared to this. Nothing. And so now I'm at a point where I do still have bad days, and it's barely been 4 or 5 months since this happened, but for the majority of the time, God does give me strength, and he gives me grace, and he gives me mercy, and he gives me all of these things, because if he didn't, I would not be right here today. If he didn't, I would not be able to get out of my bed every morning. If he didn't, I would not be able to function. If he didn't, I would not still be able to have laughter and love and joy and all those things. I think the thing that I prayed for the most after I lost Lydia was that I did not want this to change me, because so many times do I see people who go through tragedy and who go through stuff like this that don't have God on their side, that they're miserable. They are so miserable and they can't get out of it, and they can't move on, and they can't function. They can't do anything. But I'm here to tell you, only by the grace of God am I able to function how I am? Is my mom able to function how she is? Is my sister able to function how she is? Because this was not just my loss. This little girl was loved by so many and prayed for by so many and hoped for by so many that, I cannot help but think that, or know, not even think, but I cannot help but know that this was God's intervention. Just like we talked about earlier, if I'm running 10 or 15 minutes late for something, I'm like, I'm running late. And then as you're driving down the road, you see that there's a massive accident over here, and you're like, man, that could have been me. What if God was protecting me from something much, much worse? So losing a baby at this portion in life is terrible, and it's devastating, and it's broken me into a bazillion pieces. But what if he was sparing me from something worse? What if this pain was this compared to what could have possibly been. I mean, I can't imagine things being much worse, but what if that's how it is? Because I know when we get to heaven, there's going to be a reason, there's going to be a story, there's going to be all those things. And when that happens, I'm going to be like, gosh, I sure was silly for sobbing my buns off, or for feeling so wretched and so desperate and so all of those things. Because when I see this in heaven, I'm going to know, oh my gosh, that's what that was for. And I'm glad for that. I'm glad that God uses us. I'm glad that, good things can come out of terrible situations. That I am thankful for, because if it weren't for Christ, these things wouldn't happen. Whether it's IVF or whether it's just not being able to get pregnant, or whether it's child loss, or whether it's whatever it is, I need you guys to know that God is always, He just always has a plan. There's always a reason, and there's always a purpose. And as long as we think that way and believe that way and truthfully soul search that way, I think we're doing our jobs in life. I think that we're where we're supposed to be. Two things. One, I'd really prefer to not be Sarah and be 99 by the time I had my first child. We're pushing 40 here, and I'm like, come on, man. The other thing is, sometimes I feel a little like Job, where I'm like, bam, bam, bam. I'm like, come on. For a while after all of this happened, I just kept telling God, I'm tired. I'm tired of you using me. I'm tired of being the example. I'm tired of, what lesson am I not picking up, or what am I missing here? And then through some counseling, because everybody should go to counseling, through some counseling, I realized, I was like, this is all purposeful. Every single inch of this is purposeful. So you better roll with it, is what you better do. You better put your big girl panties on, and you better roll with it. That is what you better do. So, some people have said, gosh, I hope that this is it for you, or gosh, you've really had a lot. Do you really think that moving forward is going to be in your best interest? Some choice words usually run through my head. I refrain, and I'm like, yes, my mama didn't raise a quitter. I am a go-getter. I will have a baby. That sweet thing in heaven is my very first love. She will always be my first love. But I will be a mommy here. I will, because I refuse to give up. I absolutely refuse.
Hi, I'm Crystal. Dana and I have been friends since kindergarten. She's an amazing woman and deserves to have her arms filled with a child she has waited and prayed for so long now. We are asking for your help. If you want to help, there are many ways to get involved. First, you can donate. Dana would never ask, but the cost for adoption or IVF and surrogacy is astounding. Secondly, if you know someone who is in need and wants to find a child-loving home, please feel free to contact us directly at the link below. Sometimes through situations like these, God ever so gracefully intervenes, and through the sharing of this story, Dana can get matched with the child God intended just for her. Thirdly, please pray for Dana and ask for God's plans to unfold clearly for her. Thank you for sharing this story with your family and friends, and for giving to a woman that is so deserving.